Hello and welcome back to London Cycle Routes. Today I'll be showing you how to cycle from Euston in central London to Holborn. This ride takes just 10 minutes and you can do the whole thing on quiet streets and protected cycle lanes. By public transport, the same journey takes more like 20 minutes and requires a change of line. So getting on your bike is a fantastic way to make this trip. If you find this video useful or you just enjoy watching it, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I try to post new videos just like it every week. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to everybody who supports the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to contribute too, you can find a link in the description below the video. Alright, let's get going. So we're starting opposite Euston station and we're going to turn down Gordon Street. This is a reasonably low traffic way of getting from Euston Road over to the protected cycle lanes on Tavistock Place, which is the direction that we're heading in now. Today's route is quite a short one, but I think it'll be a useful one for a lot of people as well. There are a lot of workplaces in Holborn and I can totally imagine someone coming down from, say, Manchester for the day, arriving at Euston and wanting to figure out how to get to Holborn for a meeting. If that's potentially you and you think you might find this route useful, do let me know in the comments, as I'm always interested if I'm doing the right route for people on the channel. Now that we've made it to the other side of Gordon Square, we've found ourselves in the nicely renewed protected cycle lanes. The street that they're on and the street that we're running down now has about half a dozen different names in the space of 400 metres, but colloquially I think people mostly know it as Tavistock Place, which is the longest section which we're just going on to now. I've talked about these lanes a lot on this channel before, so I won't go into too much detail, but basically you're separated from the general traffic by this lovely protective curb, which has a nice chamfered edge to maximise the width of the lane. The lanes were previously a two-way track down one side of the street, but they've been upgraded a couple of times to give you a nice wide lane on both sides of the street. So if you're coming the opposite way down the street, then you'll use the lane on the other side of the road. Unfortunately, when I came down here, there was some construction work closing that section of the lane, so I had to squeeze past it, but normally you can just go straight on. This feature here is quite new. It's a cycle gate or guaranteed early start, so we had a green light which let us into the cycle box, and then we got another green light which gave us a head start onto Hunter Street. Camden Council are actually planning to put a protected cycle lane in the northbound direction on Hunter Street, so the opposite direction that we're going in. I think that'll be useful. They've already consulted and I'd expect construction to begin either later this year or next year. It won't be a game changer, but it will make the street a little bit more comfortable at busy times. This area used to be horrible to cycle through until 2020. There was a huge roundabout on the junction that we just came through, but Camden removed it and put in a modal filter there, which keeps Lansdowne Terrace nice and quiet and a really useful cycle shortcut for us to take. Less good and probably in need of improvement is Guildford Street, although we're only on it for a few seconds before turning off to Guildford Place. In this direction you go this side of the drinking fountain, and in the other direction you go the other side. That fountain actually depicts a woman of Samaria, as mentioned in the Bible, and was erected in memory of Mrs. Frances Whitting, who lived on nearby Mechelborough Square. The fountain was erected in 1870 and paid for by her daughters in memory of her, which I think is quite sweet. We now find ourselves on Lamb's Conduit Street, which is nice and quiet due to a series of one-way systems and modal filters in the area. Lamb's Conduit also has a link to water and charity, just like that drinking fountain. It was actually named after a conduit which carried water, and that conduit was named after William Lamb, who donated £1,500 to build that conduit and supply water from the River Fleet to the Snow Hill area. In the 1560s, £1,500 was an insane amount of money, and having running water at all was pretty cool as well. So yeah, they called it Land's Conduit because they were just really grateful. Now, you may have noticed that nice traffic-free section we just went through. That's actually about to be extended, more or less up to Eagle Street that we just passed. Camden Council recently consulted on that as part of the Holborn Livable Neighbourhood scheme, and it should provide more space for pedestrians as well as things like outdoor dining, so it sounds pretty nice. Anyway, we've made it to High Holborn. Note the rank of Santander bikes there, and also the Line Bike Bay just around the corner. You can also get one of those from out front of Euston Station, so if you want to do this route without bringing a bike on the train, you could get a Santander, TfL, Boris bike, whatever you call them, or get a Line bike or Forest bike or whatever other dockless bikes are available, and you could park it at both ends. I think most people would probably agree that's a fantastic way of getting from the station to here. It certainly beats legging it around Tottenham Court Road Tube Station, which is pretty much the other option. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Do make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. I post new videos every week. And a huge thanks to everyone who donates money on Patreon. I really appreciate it. And if anyone else is feeling generous and would like to keep the channel going, then there's a link in the description below the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of the video. Would you do anything differently? Do you think any sections need to be improved? If so, let me know below the line, and I'll see you guys all again next week. Goodbye.